All right, this is Ubaid on behalf of Electronics, and in this video, we'll be talking about discretionary fiscal policy and automatic stabilizers. Okay, now the discretionary fiscal policy, as the name suggests, okay, this is basically used on a special event. Okay, this would be under unforeseen circumstances, okay, such as a pandemic, maybe a conflict where you have a recession. As a result of which the economy goes down and the government has to provide some kind of an aid to the general public or businesses within a nation to get the economy out of recession. Okay, so discretionary, under discretion, okay, discretionary, this is discretionary fiscal policy. Discretionary fiscal policy. Okay, so discretionary fiscal policy has to do with a fiscal policy where government may provide stimulus checks or stimulus payments. Okay, so stimulus checks, okay, or payments. Okay, stimulus checks, and you have, okay, government aid. Okay, so government aid, this is during unforeseen events. Okay, during emergencies. All right, so on and so forth. Now, this is every once in every blue moon. Okay, so once in every blue moon or every once in a while. Okay, so this won't be every year. Okay, however, when this does happen, you have discretionary fiscal policy kicking in where the governments may provide things like COVID-19 recovery benefit, for example. Okay, back in 2020. So you have COVID-19. So this was a global event, it was a pandemic, as a result of which you had a recession in many countries. So when you have a recession, the government fiscal policy basically tries to get the economy out of recession. And one way of doing this is to provide some kind of a stimulus check. Okay, so this would be COVID-19 recovery benefit as an example. So COVID-19 recovery benefit, and this had to do with all the citizens of the country that were affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. So COVID-19 recovery benefits. And apart from these benefits, we've also talked about state and local government spending and how the federal government gives grants. Okay, so in this case, the federal government may provide some kind of an aid to the state and local governments for them to spend more money on infrastructure. Okay, such as hospital and healthcare. Okay, so you have, okay, state and local government aid, state and local government aid, local government aid. Obviously, the demand for hospitals and healthcare goes up during a pandemic, okay, which basically means that when they receive these federal grants from the federal government, okay, their spending on infrastructure goes up. So increased spending on infrastructure, okay, on infrastructure. Okay, so you have COVID-19 benefits as well as state and local government aids. All right. Now, Apart from these two, you also have something called, okay, automatic stabilizers. So let's say this is automatic stabilizers. And as the name suggests, it has to do with stabilizing the economy, okay, by getting the economy either out of inflation or recession. So this is stabilizers. And unlike your discretionary fiscal policy, which may be used every once in a while, your automatic stabilizers may be used every year. Okay, so this would be things such as your unemployment insurance benefits, so EI, so EI benefits. Okay, as well as your food stamps. Okay, now both of these will increase spending to some extent. Okay, okay, EI benefits will increase spending because of an increase in income. So this is other income that you may report on your T4E in Canada. So as the other income goes up, okay, consumer consumption goes up, consumer consumption goes up, consumption goes up, and as consumption goes up, the real GDP goes up because consumption makes up a big chunk of aggregate demand and real GDP. So your GDP goes up. All right, now the same with your fiscal policy, your discretionary fiscal policy. Okay, these stimulus checks, such as COVID-19 recovery benefits, they will increase personal consumption. They will allow the general public to buy their necessities, okay, during a pandemic. It will also increase government aid, which means that the government will spend more on infrastructure, such as healthcare and hospitals, okay, relevant infrastructure. Okay, so when it comes to your spending on infrastructure, both the spending on infrastructure and personal consumption will increase aggregate demand. So your aggregate demand will go up, and so will your GDP. So AD goes up, and so does your GDP. So GDP goes up. So AD or aggregate demand and GDP will go up. All right, so that is discretionary fiscal policy and automatic stabilizers. On behalf of V Electronics, this is Obey. Have yourself a great day.